Alrighty, so let's get started on these cupcake toppers. Just to give you a quick rundown of the supplies we're going to need. Just a little circle cutter for the size of the head. You'll need these teardrop cutters for the sides of the faces and the ears. And you might want to just, if you have some, just various other little cutters that you might want to use, a butterfly, this for the tuft of the hair, just little various cupcake cutters. You'll also need, I've got my egg crate here. I love this. I have the little black pearls for the eyes, some little tiny flowers for some embellishment. I've got my fondant ready to roll. I've got my ramekin with a clean brush and water. You'll need a little fondant roller. And whatever this tool is, I just use it to poke their eyes out. I didn't mean for that to sound so aggressive. So again, I feel terrible that the last video was an hour. So my daughter and I decided 20 minutes is a good time to set for these videos. So I'm setting my timer. When that alarm goes off, we're done. So there we go. So to start with, you just need to decide what you want your little heads to set on. For my project, I chose a leaf, but you can just do a larger circle the size of your cupcake to put it on. But the leaf spoke to me for this project. I also don't like I didn't want it to be just plain, so I have an impression mat here that I use to put some design in the leaf, some leaf design in the leaf. I'm just covering that impression mat with just a little bit of cornstarch so it won't, my fondant won't stick to the mat. And you want to roll it out firm enough to where it'll leave a really good impression on your fondant. And I love that. That's so pretty. So I'm going to take my leaf cutter and just cut it out and set it aside. And of course you'll make one of these for every cupcake you have to top. And that probably went without being said and took up some of our minutes. So anyway, that's where we're going to start, quick and simple. So I'm not going to give you a blow by blow of what we're doing. I'm just going to make them, and then we're going to chat about a couple of things, and hopefully when we're done, you'll feel confident enough to make your own toppers. So we're going to do the fox first. I like him. I love these colors. For the baby, if you're using a baby shower, you kind of want to go light-handed when you're mixing or coloring your fondant. All right, so all we're going to do is just cut out the circle for his head. I'll probably give you a blow-by-blow for this first one. All right, so we're going to use white for the sides of his face. We don't need a lot of that. And you don't want it to be really thick. So just kind of spread it out where it's fairly thin. So we'll need 2 of those. And again, like we've mentioned before, you'll just want to make sure your edges are smooth. Sometimes these cutters leave a little bit of a jagged edge, and we don't want that. All right, so you're just going to take his head. You're going to put 1 on each side. Simple, right? All right, now you're going to poke an eye here, and you're going to poke an eye there, and then you're going to poke a hole for his nose. Grab 3 of these little black pearls, if you can. Stick 1 in there for his nose, 1 each for the eyes. Oh my gosh, how simple is this? Make sure you have a nice clean brush and just go just lightly around the edge. Again, this using plain water as a glue. All right. Put him where you want him on the leaf with the water. Simple, simple, simple. Now we're going to do a couple of ears. You'll need a baller tool for this. Don't forget, every other week, Hobby Lobby has these little doodads on sale for half price, so you want to take advantage of that. That way you're not breaking the bank, making sure you have tools, and you may decide you like this so well that you want to make them all the time, so you can kind of justify those tools. And then just stick his ears in place. Use the short end of your balling tool. And then I'm just going to make just a little tiny tuft of hair. Just as a little extra embellishment. Again, you don't have to do this, but I just like embellishment. I don't know why. I'm just going to just simply stick that there, just to give him a little something, something. And you know what? The fox is done. When we get all of them done all at one time, we'll go over the ears with some red pearl dust or luster dust, just to give him some color and some shine. But that's our fox, so we're going to set him to the side. That's one down in how many seconds? We still have 15 minutes. I can't believe it. All right, so let's go ahead and do the skunk. So while we're doing the animals, I got to pondering this week. I want to just kind of talk a little bit about pigs. And I'm not necessarily talking about the animal, although it is what we're talking about is a metaphor for pigs, I guess, because they like to roll in the mud. And when you think of a pig, you think of it's something that's just not up there with your most clean animals. And I'm not saying I don't like pigs. I have nothing against pigs. I like bacon, but I'm talking more about the attitude that a lot of people have. It's just makes you, it's just aggressive and it's ugly, and you feel like you're kind of getting into a situation that's just not a good thing. I love what George Bernard Shaw said, never wrestle with pigs. You both get dirty and the pig likes it. And that's the truth. If you start arguing with somebody that is offended by what you say, or they don't agree with what you say, they can get real ugly real fast and start slinging the mud. I guess that's where part of that comes from. And even Jesus said in the Sermon on the Mount, don't throw your pearl before swine. They'll just trample it and then they'll attack you. And I got to thinking about that, and I love the way that he really kind of intertwined all that stuff in an amazing way. When you think about your pearls, he's not talking about like wealth, you know, having the pearls that we make jewelry from. He's talking about mostly your pearls of wisdom. And when I got to thinking about that, I got to thinking about, well, how are pearls even made? So I'm a curious Virgo, so I keep Siri busy looking stuff up for me. And what I found out about as far as how pearls are made, when certain oysters or other mollusks have things that irritate them, like for example, if a irritant, a parasite or something gets into their system and starts irritating them, they, I didn't bring a pink button, so I'm just going to use a black one. They start secreting this liquid around that parasite or that irritant that's bothering them, and that engulfs that parasite or irritant, whatever you want to call it, and eventually they just keep secreting until that parasite is gone, and then they secrete, or you can get the pearl. But by the time they're through covering that parasite with or irritant, I like, for our purposes, I like the term irritant. then by the time they have secreted layer after layer of that secretion around that irritant, it just forms this beautiful pearl, which is what is harvested to make our jewelry. And when you think about it, your life experiences that you go through to glean your wisdom is kind of the same process. You just go through stuff and you go through stuff and you go through stuff. And at some point in time, if you're doing it right, you allow these things to make you better, to make you stronger, to make you wiser. So that's kind of where your pearl comes from. So when Jesus is talking about don't throw your pearl before swine, that's what he's referring to, is not, again, not the jewelry type pearls, but the pearls that are formed by your growth and your maturity. Because he says what they'll do is they'll trample on your pearls and then they'll attack you. And you know how pigs are. They love to roll in the mud and trample the mud, and everything is just, it's just not pleasant. I used to have a friend that raised pigs, and the smell was horrible. But again, we love the byproduct of the pigs. We just don't like, and again, we're not talking about pigs. We're just basically talking about people with that irritating attitude that they know it all, and no matter what you say or what you do, excuse me, they're going to argue with you, and it's just not a good situation. So basically, you just want to stay away from those people. And if you can't, and really in the times in which we live right now, you can't even avoid them. They're everywhere. And when you watch the news at night, they have all these people that attack the airline attendants and people that attack the fast food cashiers or the cashiers at the gas station because they don't want to have to wear a mask. It's just like people are just looking for a reason to attack, to trample and attack. And you just, it's hard to smile and nod and to walk away from a person like that. But basically, that's what we need to do. Just turn the other cheek, as Jesus said. Just smile and nod and just go on about your business. Because if you get into a verbal entanglement with these people or that kind of person, you're going to get dirty. They're going to get dirty. The difference is, as George Bernard Shaw said, they're going to like it because it kind of gives them something to talk about how they showed you. And it's hard to walk away from someone like that and not try to get through to them. But some people you just can't. So when Jesus says, don't throw your pearl before swine, that really is where you just need to try to learn to walk away, as hard as it is. Because as George Bernard Shaw said, you're both going to get dirty and the pig likes it. All right. And I'm sure we've all encountered those people at some point in our lives that just won't let go of anything. They just like to argue, and it just boggles the mind. I don't understand that at all, but there's just a lot of people that have that mentality. Too many, I'm afraid. But just don't allow yourself to get tangled up in it. All right, I think we're making good time. I'm trying to go fast here. And if I'm going too fast, hopefully you can rewind if you decide and just make yours when you get ready, and just rewind if you need to. These are so quick and easy compared to the last couple of projects we've done. And I'm not taking my time to make sure these are set exactly, but you kind of get the idea of what to do. I think I used the wrong color on his tuft, his face here, but I've mentioned before I struggle to walk and talk at the same time. And if you're wondering where that Sermon on the Mount is in the New Testament, it's in Matthew. This particular verse, the pearl before swine, is in Matthew chapter 7, verse 6. Don't throw your pearl before swine. It's really fascinating. I love fun facts, and I'm a nerd. So learning that about the pearls and how they're formed, I loved that. That was neat. I don't own a pearl, but I think it's kind of interesting how they're formed. I always wondered. I've just never looked it up before. Never really had a reason to before now. So I'm going to make him a couple of little antlers here. Or her, whichever. And they don't need to be very big. Actually, this is what I meant to use earlier. I'll just use it now. And if our clock doesn't run out, when I get these done, we're going to make those pretzel sticks with the moss. But if I don't, my time runs out, that'll be another video. And the good news is that'll be a short one. And then once we get the woodland babies done, we're going to make other stuff. I've got a plan. Again, I'm a Virgo, so we've always got plan A, plan B, and on up the alphabet. Always have a plan. And I always tell anybody, if you're planning a surprise, let me know first, because I really don't like surprises. That's why we plan things out. I'm trying to go fast, but in doing that, I'm making a mess. And then for this little deer, I've got these little confetti hearts I made. I'm just going to plant that right there. And I have a vision to do a video on how to make just our own confetti and sparkles, because I've been seeing a lot of advertisements for these really fancy sparkles, and I love them. And if you get to looking at them closely, you can make them yourself. So we're going to do that. All right, let's do rocket here. I am a super nerd. I love the Marvel movies, and one of my favorite characters in the Guardians of the Galaxy is the raccoon Rocket. So any raccoon I see, I call him Rocket. And if your fondant sticks to your, I always put parchment paper down. If it sticks to your parchment paper or whatever platform you're working on, just a little cornstarch will take care of that. What am I looking for? Where's my paintbrush? Here it is. All right, there's Rocket. Excuse me. All right. So we're making good progress. I can't believe it. All right. Should have cut out his ears while I had that gray rolled out. I'm in a hurry because I don't want to go over my 20 minutes. All right. Poke his eyes here. Just a couple of pearls. This is our pearl theme day, I guess. These are our black little seed pearls. One for his nose. Can you believe how quickly these are going together compared to the last couple of projects we did? All right. Fingers are sticking to them. Let me get a little cornstarch. For that baby shower I was going to do for my nephew, great nephew, I was going to have to make 48 cupcake toppers. So that would have been quite a project, so it's good that these go together so quickly. All right. So for him, since he's so colorless, I just felt like he needed a little color, so I just rolled out just the teeniest tiny bit of pink to make a tongue. I have people I know in my life that are crazy about, there's my alarm, so I'm going to put this in place here. And then I'm going to shut up. Which hopefully you got enough from this to where you feel confident that you can make your own. We got 4 made, so that's not too bad. And then again, I'm just going to paint the insides of the ears with a little bit of vodka and red luster dust, just a little, not much. And then you've got some amazing cupcake toppers to put on your next Woodland Babies themed cupcakes. All right, we're going to quit this for now. Thank you so much, and I'll talk to you later.